Hello everyone, today we are going to learn about abstract class. The dictionary meaning of the word abstract is a thought or idea that has no physical existence. So the definition of that abstract class, an abstract class is a special kind of class that has no implementation. It cannot be instantaneous. Its implementation logic is provided by the class that derive from it. It can have both abstract as well as non-abstract methods. It is not compulsory to have only abstract methods in an abstract class. We can also have an abstract class with only non-abstract methods. So why we are using that abstract class? Let's take example. In the most interview question, they were asking what's the difference between abstract and interface. In this video, we are going to find out the difference. Let's open the console application. So when we are going to use then abstracts, and why do we need that abstract class? So abstract class, once you have a common functionality, just like if you take the example of a phone and take example of iPhone. So iPhone, there is so much model is there, but common functionality is that call and SMS. Once you are going to inherit that one, that call and SMS, but that if you will look that iPhone 5, iPhone 7, that have model is different. So that model is not a common, but SMS and call is a common. So that times we are going to use that one abstract class. So that abstract class it's mainly used for code reusability. Just take example. Like a phone, or you can say that we are going to write that iPhone. So some common functionality is that call, that every phone have this functionality, that call and SMS also. This one is the common functionality, and this functionality every phone can use. But if you look that brand, color, that functionality, it will be vary with the phone. Just as someone have a iPhone 5, someone have a iPhone 7, so that functionality will not a common. So that times we will use that abstract method. If you are going to create that abstracts, means only signature will be here, there is no implementation. Second also that abstract, that will be maybe that color, phone color, that also it will be vary. So now if we are going to inherit, because in abstract class you cannot create the instance, just like this one. If you want to try that one, that create that object, it will give that error. See, you cannot instantaneate, you cannot create that object. See, you're getting that message, cannot create an instance of that abstract class interface, that iPhone. So you cannot create that instance. You can inherit, just like so you're going to create one class, This one is that concrete class. So that iPhone 5. Now you are going to inherit or implement that functionality. This too. So here in that iPhone 5, maybe that color, just like you can write that color can be changed. So maybe this one be green or black, and same one model, that will be the iPhone 5. So how you will call this one, this iPhone 5? So base class equal to new iPhone 5. So you can call that one, that same functionality. So everyone is using this one, and that call also, SMS also, that is a common functionality. And this one for that phone model and phone color, you can call from here, that object SMS, that phone color, object dot phone model. Okay. Let's run the application. See, phone call and phone SMS. Now again another class we are going to create, that is a iPhone 5. iPhone 7, sorry, iPhone 7, iPhone 5 already created. That iPhone, again we are going to inherit that one. And this one, that iPhone 7, or that color maybe you can make it white. So now you are going to create instance of iPhone 7. So same way you can do iPhone bj2 is equal to new iPhone 7. So obj.2 dot SMS, that common functionality, this one, that call, then phone color, and then phone model. Just comment this one. Now we are going to run another one. See here. See these two, that SMS and call, that have a common functionality. So no need to write, because you are going to reuse this one. So that's the abstract class. It's saying there's once that functionality is common, then you can create that abstract class. But some point we have to remember, for abstract class, we have already seen that once you cannot create the instance of an abstract class. Just comment this one. We already seen that one, you cannot create that instance of a, you will get that message, but you can create the reference just like this. You can create the reference, but you cannot create the instance. So first point is that, write on the first point, we cannot create an app the top abstract class. This one is the first point. Second point is that an abstract class can never be sealed or statics, because once you are going to create that sealed, so means you are not allowed to inherit. So that's why you cannot create that one a sealed class. So that abstract class cannot be a sealed. You will get that error. You see, iPhone, an abstract class cannot be a sealed or statics. Second point, so you cannot create the sealed class, that abstract one. Third one is that an abstract class can have abstract as well as non-abstract methods. Third point. An abstract class can have abstract as well as non-abstract method. Here you already seen that once. In abstract class we have created here abstract class, that iPhone. See, these two are a non-abstract method, that call and SMS. These two are a non-abstract method, and here these two is that abstract. So your third point is an abstract class can have abstract as well as non-abstract method. Fourth point is that we can create constructor for an abstract class. We can create the constructor. So this one is the abstract class. You can, if you want, you can create that constructor. See, you can create that constructor. Is basically used for initialization. Once you are going to use that abstract class or you want to create that constructor, you can that for initialization. So in the abstract class you can create the constructor. Fifth point is that a concrete class cannot inherit more than one abstract class. In other words, multiple inheritance is not possible. So fifth point is that a concrete class cannot more than one abstract class. It's like if you want to create one more abstract class, just like a public abstract class B. If you try to inherit this one in the iPhone here, it will give that error because multiple inheritance is not possible for the abstract class. I hope it's clear. Now we are going to check that inheritance. So we'll chop out the difference between what's the difference between the abstract class and that interface. So let's open that one. Create a new project. Interface is also look like a abstract, but only there's some difference between the interface and abstract is that main difference is that there is no implementation. Just like here in that abstract class, you have seen that one there is an implementation. But if you are going to create that one, that interface, there is no implementation. Only method and signature will be there. Create that interface. So you cannot implement this one if you cannot write just like this void method b. You cannot write it because in the interface there is no implementation. There is a one difference between the this and first difference is that between the abstract and interface there is no implementation. And second one is that there is no access modifier. Just like in that abstract, you can see that we have written here that access modifier like a public. But in that interface, you cannot write that one. Here, if you see, it's not allowing that one. Second difference is like that. Okay, you cannot use that access modifier. By default, it's a public. In also in the abstract, you cannot write this one. Create the public private. It will give that error. But you can here you can write that access modifier. Create one more. Here that multiple inheritance is possible in that interface. So if we are going to create two interface, and you are going to create one class, or if you want to inherit, then both iPhone and iMobile, you can inherit both of them. See, there is no error here. But in the case of abstracts, multiple inheritance is not possible. So main question is that when you will go for abstract and when you will go for interface. So you already seen in that abstracts, once you have a common functionality, that time you go for abstract. But if you don't know that functionality and the future implementation, so that times you go for interface. Just take an example that two types of phone. That is one is the iPhone phone, that one, and that is Android. That both functionality is totally different. So that times you will go for that iPhone because you don't know that actually implementation and there is no common implementation. And the one more thing is that if in the future you are not know that one, maybe that in the future something is going to be exchanged. Just like there is a two different phone, so implementation is done. Just like for we'll change that one, this one for Android or this one for iPhone. You have created one class, you have implemented this one. Method A, method B. This one is going to implement this one Android. Oh, just delete that one. Create new one. just like we have created that public interface, that iSmartphone. Here you can see that main difference between the interface and abstract. So in that iSmartphone, there is a two functionality. There is one is that OS is same, and second one is that App Store. So both the functionality is common for iPhone and like a Samsung, that Android mobile. So we will create one class, that is a public class, that is a Samsung. This is going to implement that iSmartphone. So Samsung OS. The same thing we are going to write for App Store. Samsung App Store. Then again another class, iPhone. This two again going to implement. This one for iPhone and this one for App Store. For now that you can use this one also for abstracts, but what's the problem will come in the future. Maybe that iPhone, that they want to implement new thing, that is you can say that they are going to implement one touch screen phone. So that time how it will do, because if you will change here, just like you will write like a touch screen, okay, so that times who implemented that one, that particular iSmartphone, that will give that problems, because Samsung also it will ask for implement this one, but Samsung don't want to implement the touch screen. Only that iPhone wants to implement that touch screens. So here that's the problem you will face, because that's the main difference between that abstract interface. So what you will do, because that particular functionality, that touch screen functionality is we need to implement only in iPhone. So what we will do, we will create that one more interface. That interface, touch screen, that void right. So now this one, only that iPhone wants that touch screen implementation. So what iPhone will do, that iPhone only it will be implement this one. So this one, now you can see that iPhone touch screen. Now both the client is happy. That Samsung client also happy, because they have no need to change anything. It's working fine. And also that iPhone, if they want to extend that touch screen, that is implemented here. But in that abstract class, you cannot use this functionality, because there that multiple inheritance is not allowed in abstract class. Only that for interface you can implement that one multiple inheritance. So one thing is one more, if it's a common functionality is there, just like in that abstract class, if you look that common functionality, in the future if you want to change anything in that common functionality, just like if you want to change something else, so it will affect all the users, all the clients who are implementing this iPhone. So this one is the biggest difference between that two, that interface and abstract. So if you want to extend, if you don't have a common functionality, that times you go for the interface. If you have a common functionality, then you can go for that abstract. In the future, if I don't want we don't know that maybe that in the future we are going to extend some more functionality, so we can go for the interface, because that interface only have multiple inheritance. I hope it's clear. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe.